What is going on, my children, and welcome to another video. It's your favorite Pokemon, BouseFuckboy here, and on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z, we're going to be talking all about my new favorite Gunblade melee weapon, the Sarpa. It slices, it dices, it has unlimited ammo, but is it better than the Redeemer? Let's find out. Okay, so jokes aside, the Sarpa is actually a really cool weapon, and so far it's been my favorite addition to our arsenal with the Silver Grove update. If you're looking to get one of your own, this weapon's blueprint can be purchased from the market, but you need to be at least Mastery Rank 8 to use it. Moving on, the funny thing about the Sarpa is that it's a melee weapon that's better than most primary weapons. For example, you have the close quarters melee attacks of a melee weapon, which is to be expected, and on top of that, you have the long-range ballistic capabilities of a primary or secondary weapon. Here's the best part though, the charge shot from the Sarpa is silent and has punch through. In addition to that, it uses no ammo and there's no reloading. The downside to the Sarpa is that the pellets it fires from the charge shot have damage fall off in a wide spread. This makes it hard to aim and do damage at a distance, so medium range is recommended for this weapon when engaging enemies. Another issue with the Sarpa is that at the time of this video, the stance mod is horribly bugged and it's very difficult to execute some of the combos. If you're watching this in the future, that may have already been fixed and you should ignore this part. Lastly, the weapon has very low status and critical chance, which means that scalability against very high-level enemies is going to be low. Finally, if we compare the Sarpa to the Redeemer, we see that the Sarpa pretty much wins stat-wise in every category except critical chance and status chance, wherein they are both tied. So the Sarpa has faster attack speed and higher base damage than the Redeemer. That makes it better, right? Well, in an objective sense on paper, it does. The issue in comparing these weapons, though, is that we're basically comparing an SMG to a shotgun. They both work differently and are better at different situations. Regardless of all this, though, both weapons are extremely powerful and are going to pretty much obliterate anything sortie level or below. Moving on to the build, we can see that lack of status or crit chance kind of forces us to go for what some people call a pure damage build. We're using all 90% elementals, pressure point, a physical damage mod, and spoiled strike. Everything you see in this build fit with only 2 forma, which considering the fact that we're using 2 primed mods is a steal. If you don't have these primed mods, just use the normal version. As a final note on this build though, I want to say that you can build weapons any way that you want. This is just my mod setup and it reflects my playstyle. It's what I think is best. If you have a better setup, use it. That's totally okay. For the next part of this video, I wanted to show you guys how this weapon performs in a high-level environment, and for that, we're going to the simulacrum to test it out. I'm using level 100 enemies, which is about the same level as the last mission in your daily sortie. I'm using a mix of flesh-based and armored targets, and you can see that the Sarpa absolutely tears through the fleshier targets due to its slash damage. We have a little bit more trouble with the armored targets, and without any status or crit chance to speak of, you're going to want to have some method of armor removal when you're fighting guys like this. In all though, the Sarpa really holds its own, as you can see here. As for my final thoughts on the weapon, I can confidently say that I really enjoy using it. The big problem for me right now is the buggy stance mod, but the weapon is still polarized to fit high noon, so if you've got one of those lying around, you can use that in the meantime until Bullet Dance gets fixed. Lastly, if you're on the fence about building this weapon, I'd say go for it. I think it's a lot of fun to use, and it's very powerful. Additionally, with its silent charge shot that benefits from 4x stealth multipliers, this thing is a monster on stealth missions. But that's gonna do it for me today, ladies and memes. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to support it by leaving a like down below, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel for more content. I was thinking that, if I get enough subscribers, maybe we can put together a search party and help Pink Guy find Papa Franku in the rice fields. Until next time, though, I'm BouseFeenux. I'll see you at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.